And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in another big edition of TigerBait Live tonight. Mike Scarborough and, of course, my sidekick, Buddy Songy. We're going to have a big show tonight. We'll go for an hour, maybe a little plus tonight. And obviously, as you see the title of the show, it's just been a whirlwind. When is it going to stop? When are they going to get their act together? When are they going to quit opening their mouths and putting their foot in it? Sometimes both feet. And we're going to break it all down. Are they through it? Roos went on WWL and seemed to have cleared it up late today after his comments earlier today. We're going to discuss that. Verge Alsbury, the coaching search, and more. Welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike Scarborough. Hope everybody doing well out there. It has been a crazy. We looking at 10 days. I think that's what I calculated from that ball game where LSU was winning 18-14, and then because they had no legs, because the coach had gone crazy on a Thursday practice and got clobbered, everything went into motion 35, 40 minutes before Brian Kelly meets with the media, and it has been crazy. But it's not unprecedented. Mike, you remember the final score of Jerry DiNardo's game at Vanderbilt. He got hired because Charlie Cusimano and him were like this. He got beat by Tennessee 65-0. Joe Dean wanted to hire Pat Sullivan and didn't know anything about the buyout. I mean, there have been botched searches before, but this one takes the cake of what has happened in the last 10 days. And obviously, you've been staying on top of it. I
forgot the Pat Sullivan thing.
You forgot about that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so it's not unprecedented, but I think what's happened in this 10-day period is pretty unprecedented, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, like Mike alluded to, instead of the interim, now he is the acting AD, and Wade Roos did give him all of the authority to be the lead guy on hiring a new coach.
You know, and it's still like, are you sure? Okay. Because, look, man, there's been a lot of conjecture this afternoon over what was said and things we're picking up. And, this does not do LSU any favors. How let me figure out a way to say this. How likely are the people that Verge needs to talk to in his committee willing to answer the phone if they feel like this, if it's a major crap show in Baton Rouge?
Well, the agents will answer the phone. The agents will do all the legwork. I think the people will still talk about this job, but now you're going to have some extenuating circumstances and some questions to answer about what the hell's going on there.
And by the way, just like NIL and just like the current roster of football players, you have to recruit your current roster.
Absolutely.
Meaning you have to recruit your current roster of coaches at LSU, okay? You don't get your act together here, and you can see where Kim Mulkey might say, this is it. I'm gonna go one more year and I'm done. Woodward gave her everything she wanted. Now you can debate whether that's good or bad. Jay Johnson, he could go either way. But I think there were some things that were promised by Scott Woodward that Verge or whoever the AD is long term needs to come through with. He's already 11th or 12th in the SEC and NIL. They better fix that. Because there's going to be some people come calling if you don't show the proper respect to Jay Johnson and so on. And then with all the money that's going out the door, does Matt McMahon and Beth Trina feel like they might be safe regardless of what kind of seasons they have? It's just not only the next 60 days going to be very interesting, but the next 6 to 9 months are going to be very interesting. And how it plays out with a new AD, new regime, what the outcomes are in spring sports and so forth. So, look, we're here each and every week. Our title sponsor is Pride Roofing. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and hear from Mike and Alex over at Pride.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer of TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
There you have it. 855-PRIDE-16. Say TigerBait when you call, and you're going to get a free TigerBait premium for a year. That's a $99 value when you call for your free roof inspection at Pride. You can't beat that deal. Of course, licensed, bond, insured, based in Hammond. Mike Faraday, an LSU grad, Broadmoor High grad, locally owned and known my entire life. Great, great people. You want to do business with them. Great office here in Baton Rouge, big on the North Shore, New Orleans, Houma, Thibodaux. They've got you covered like a blanket all throughout South Louisiana. That's why you want to do business with Pride.
Residential, commercial, and metal roofs. Don't forget, we had the acquisition of Crown Metals that has changed the roofing business, and metal roofs are still hot. But I want to accentuate Pride. I said before the season that LSU defense was going to bring back the pride. They did that for a while. Now we got to see what Blake Baker can do this weekend in the last 3 games. But here's the key word in Pride. This is what the fan base is worried about. They don't want to be Mississippi State. They don't want to go down to where a good year is 8-4. And all of this crap that's going on locally, nationally, paints LSU in a bad situation. But as I've had many people tell me, a wounded tiger is somebody you don't want to mess with. So look, it's always been politics. Governor's always had his hand in the cookie jar, but this has happened so fast. Everybody is just trying to see. They don't want to go back. They want to have pride. You realize the pride they had with 3 natties in 20-something years? This is not pride for what's been happening lately.
But we've gone basically the first 25 years of this century without that. And now it appears to be back. Right? I mean, is it the Edwin Edwards years all over again?
I don't know.
Except with a different party?
Don't know. Depends on who's going to be the AD and who's going to be the coach. And for all of you that are hoping that Nick Saban is going to come back.
Board of Supervisors. I mean, is that – you look at that Board of Supervisors, is that an impressive lot to anybody?
Look, I will say this: the 2 guys weren't impressive with the presser. But look, bottom line is that LSU has overcome this stuff before, but you still don't know. And I was just saying about Nick Saban, a lot of people still are holding out hope. Miss Terry is going to make that decision. Now, I do think he's helping with some advice, but the people I talked to that have talked to Nick.
Well, you brought it up first, and I'm because I decided I was going to give a warning to anybody who brought him up in the chat that they were going to head for a 24-hour block.
Well, I mean, look, it's been bandied about, so I don't think any name should be.
Of course, it was Shaq that did it. Shaq's the one that floated it out there. But yeah, the Nick Saban stuff has not stopped.
He's 74. He left Alabama because of the crap that you have to put up with these recruits and the money and all of that. I think he would get back into the game if he was 5 years younger and all this stuff hadn't happened. But Miss Terry is not – there's no way she's going to let that happen. Yeah. So if you're thinking Saban's going to come back and be the coach at LSU, now, would he come as an AD? Would he be an advisor? That's more potential. But, Mike, we saw him. And you know what else he's seen, huh? Well, he's seen his good buddy Bill Belichick getting his ass kicked up and down every Saturday and has no clue. Now, there's a difference. Belichick never was a college coach and Nick was. But we'll get into the possible candidates. But it's a crapshoot right now, and nobody knows the answer. If they tell you they know the answer, they're probably BS.
All right. Y'all do me a favor. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Brad DeVee, good evening, Mike and Buddy. Has there ever been so little excitement for an LSU-Alabama game? Everything has been about the coaching search. I told Buddy that earlier today on his show. I commended Buddy for being the only person.
You chided me. You didn't commend me. You chided me.
I'm kind of a little bit of both, honestly. Only because I do admit that my interest in the rest of this LSU football season is about zero.
You're kidding.
I mean, and it's because you know you're not going anywhere. And whatever bowl you go to, I mean, seriously, what's the over and under on the opt-out number? Right?
Well, but there are 4 games to watch and see, and I think there's going to be a concerted effort to see the difference in play calling. I'm excited to see what the hell Alex Atkins.
But what does that matter if none of those guys are going to be around for the next staff?
Well, nobody knows the future, though. Nobody knows.
Unless you think they're going to be a magically different team.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you with this, they're going to call a lot better plays on offense. And no disrespect to Joe, because everybody loves you, but that was some unadulterated crap they were calling. Well, especially inside the 20 to 10 and the 5. You're going to see Michael Van Buren at key points, and I feel confident in saying that because you've got to have a guy like you and I have talked about. Everybody has a guy at quarterback that uses his feet, and that's one of the negatives with Nuss. But and then, Blake Baker, we'll see what he does. But I think it's interesting. I watched the Georgia game, the cocktail game, and they played hard for Billy Gonzalez, the interim. So I want to see that. I still like the football, and I still watch all the games, and I've got 4 more weeks, and this is what I look forward to all year. You can live in drama lane and drama alley. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the football, but you're right. It's a dead end at the end of the season as far as going places.
Big Fire Kelly, I think I will finally make one of those shows tonight, and I think it's going to be spicier than Buddy cooking up some Manda spicy sausages for his best gal.
Well, look, it is definitely going to be spicy. And look, you even told me, said, Budman, this is going to be going on for the next 60 days. And I just went.
Yeah. Kelly Watley, good evening, Mike and Buddy. I'll be so glad when this circus is over. I really hope we find the right coach. Love the show. Thank you for that. Andy Whitaker, our favorite, one of our favorites, says, could Landry, Rouse, and Verge look any more like the Three Stooges? I'm going to be fair to Verge. I mean, what do you – he hasn't done anything. I don't think he did bad last Friday. I wasn't blown away by his cohorts on each side of him in that early morning Friday presser. But look, I don't know what this means. Maybe I'm reading more into it, but I'm at the women's basketball game last night, and I've got a routine that I do almost every pregame, and I'm standing there at the edge of the court, and I look down the tunnel there, and there's Verge Ausberry with one of the board of supervisors, and he's hugging everybody. Everybody seems to be congratulating him. I take some pictures, tweet them out, shoot some video of him, etc. But I kind of hover around the court because I'm like wondering, the word had just broke, I guess, an hour before that he was the the AD. And I'm like, are they going to, have him, in a TV timeout or beforehand come out and, welcome your new LSU athletic director and him wave the crowd or something, and I want to be in a spot to film it. They didn't do that. And then we get to today and midday and no official release from LSU that he's the guy. And then we see those comments that he gives the girl. And so just to real quick, get everybody caught up as to why we're saying this. That's Piper Hutchinson, and you can see it on the screen. I asked incoming LSU President Wade Rouse on a decision to name Verge Ausberry the permanent AD, and he says, I'll remove the interim title, and then we'll assess the situation. All right, and then it goes on further down. And that lingers out there how many hours today?
But wait, let's make one sure. The LSU never officially sent out a press conference. This was all off on Ross Dellinger, who's right 99 out of 100 times, and Ross is not going to put something out there unless he knows it. But LSU never officially announced him as the full-time AD. I just want to bring
So the key is, who at LSU in a position of power gave that to Ross Dellinger?
Yeah. Good
and
question.
I don't expect Ross to reveal his source.
Well, of course not.
But is that the culprit? Do you pin something on them? I don't know. Because most media and all the major guys, Thamel and whoever on every network, just went ahead and ran with it, whether they credited Ross or not. And everybody fell in the line because they know how connected Ross is with LSU, having been on the LSU beat for years.
And then the night.
So this festers all night. And then I'm showing you a copy of Wilson Alexander's tweet up on the screen, where he was coach, new president Roos was on WWL, and he said he has my full authority to go find us a coach. He confirmed he removed the interim tag, but he also called Ausberry the acting AD. So, I mean, that's semantics. Is he the AD for 6 months? A year?
Well, I think the clear up there is that they want to make
football starts,
but they want to. Well, that's exactly what I think it is. I think that he's going to be the main man, but you also have a lot of other people involved on this search. Ben Bordelon, supervisors, president.
No, he's Cracker Jack.
Who's that?
Ben Bordelon.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have
So
tons of faith in him.
So, but what we're trying to say is that everybody, and even Kirk Herbstreit did it again yesterday. This is the best job of all the existing jobs on the market. Everybody knows what you get when you become the LSU head coach. I had Mike Archer on. I had a lot of these guys on, DiNardo. They know politics is a part of this culture that we live in, this state of Louisiana. But on the other hand, they also know about high school football. They know about the recruiting base. They know about the tradition, the history. All of the and 3 natties in 20-something years is pretty damn impressive. BK didn't work hard enough to get back to LSU, even in the playoffs. And of course, the landscape changed, Mike. The job is a lot tougher when he was at the end of the year. You don't have to deal with NIL and the transfer.
But he can get a cork out of a wine bottle as fast as you can peel crawfish.
Well, bottom line is that it is a crazy scenario. Everybody's going to have to be patient. But Jerry DiNardo was hired after losing 65-0. Les Miles was hired after getting his butt kicked. Coach O was an interim. And I mean, it's never been simple and easy at LSU. And so if you want to know who the next coach is going to be, we all do. But it's a crapshoot right now and a lot of negative publicity. I can't wait to see game day. I want to see what Saban says about it on Saturday morning with LSU and Alabama playing each other. I want to see how deep Nick gets into some of these comments with what's going on over here.
And by the way, because I've thought of that too already, Nick can absolutely save LSU with whatever he says positively on Saturday morning.
And he still loves LSU. But he also still has
because he knows Verge. He does have a relationship with Verge. So we'll see how Saban handles that, or if he handles it in any interviews before then. But yeah. Who dat fat man? Does Ole Miss making the playoffs delay or inhibit us from getting Lane? Buddy and I debated that earlier today as well. Look, if you think you can get the guys that you would think are the pinnacle in coaching, you see these coaching search hot boards. You have your pie in the sky guys, the guys that everybody in the country with a job opening would love to have, and Lane Kiffin's that guy. Dan Lanning is that guy. Who else would you put there? Would that be the only two?
By the way, late report this afternoon, Drinkwitz, of course, came from a Twitter feed, but Drinkwitz is being talked about as possible at Penn State. John Sumrall is from Birmingham. He could go to Auburn. Florida's got to get. I mean, this is why it's hard to ascertain what's actually going on. But to answer your question, how much will the governor be involved in this search? He says, I'm not going to be hiring a coach, but boom, boom, boom. All this stuff happened pretty quickly that he wanted. So it's just a clusterfuck. I still think it's a great job. I think it's the best job left. But the question that he posed.
Do you wait if you can get Lane Kiffin or somebody in that level?
That is what's so problematic with the timing.
Because if that's
4 weeks from today, 4 weeks from today is the first signing period. It's December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then, of course, the portal is January 2nd.
Here's the thing. All right, you can say, I don't want to – you can say as an athletic director in a committee and Austin Thomas and anybody in the building right now that you think could be returning, say, man, it's not worth it. Get a guy that you can get here December 1st because we can hold on to this 26 class and then we'll have a month to prepare for the transfer portal and all that. The problem with that is there's going to be movement even if you do that. Because, yeah, there's the NIL part of it, and there's kids that you're coming just for the money. But there are kids that are going to realize that my position coach, who I'm in love with and forged a 2-3 year relationship, is not going to be back. So you're going to lose you're going to lose some of your recruiting class no matter what. Now, I will say, whatever it is, you can tolerate some guys, but you can't tolerate losing a Richard Anderson from Carr or a Lamar Brown from U-High. You can't lose linemen. I'm okay with losing some of the others in this transition, but not those defensive linemen. No way.
You ever seen Ole Miss in Atlanta? Ever played for the SEC championship in Atlanta? Ole Miss?
No.
Okay. There's no doubt that Lane Kiffin would want to come to LSU.
And by the way, I'm not saying that because I want Lane Kiffin.
No, I'm just saying there's no doubt he's coveted this job. No doubt. So there's two questions: the timing and how it plays out. And the second thing that's a part of the equation, with all this crazy stuff happening, he's got to now be wondering, hey, what's going on over there? Who am I going to report to? Who's going to have my back? Who's going to make this transition seamless? There's no doubt. I know he wants this job. You know it. Everybody knows it. He's wanted this job for years. But is the timing right? Are the politics going to deter him from coming? And how are you going to juggle? Because Ole Miss is going to be in the playoffs. I mean, they can lose to Florida and Mississippi State. I don't see it.
I could be wrong, but Verge and I are the same age. I've kind of parallel. My career's run parallel with his, and talked to him enough. I don't know that Drinkwitz would be his cup of tea. No. I don't know. I don't think so.
Drink was bitching today about the CFP ratings. It's another thing that went down. 6 LCC teams in the top 12. And so, look, I still hold on to all the football stuff in the games, but this stuff on the sideline, I know everybody.
But it could be Ben Bordelons. It could be the others. I don't know.
But back to the original
Blake
question.
Baker could be talking.
Back to the original question. We know Kiffin would covet the LSU job. There's a lot of hurdles.
But you got to wait till January.
Well, I personally don't think they can wait that late.
Yeah. Whereas Drinkwitz, Missouri's not going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You could roll him out December 1.
By the way, not to take a shot at BK, but I'm pretty sure he had Cincinnati undefeated and left them to go to Notre Dame. And if you notice the contract, if you pull up Brian Kelly's contract, he took the LSU job the day after their final game at Notre Dame. So a lot of this stuff's moving parts, agents. But, Mike, who's going to make the decision, and will they get it right? Those are still pending questions for the LSU Tiger Nation.
Kenny Haynes with a super chat. Thank you. Mike, there are already 9 power jobs open. Everyone is not going to get who they want. That's absolutely true. But of all the jobs that are open, if LSU had their act together and you didn't have all this BS going on for the last few weeks, it would be automatic that LSU would get who they want over the others. But he said, that said, LSU needs to get their stuff together. Exactly. And LSU's not going to compete wasn't competing with Virginia Tech. They're not going to compete with Kentucky when they get rid of Stoops or whatever. They're not fishing in the same hole. Thank you, Kenny. Dane Bergeron with a super chat. How can you say that Saban loves LSU? He's done everything to hurt LSU since taking the Alabama job. He may have a relationship with Verge, but I do not trust Saban. Sorry, Snake. I know Nick Saban better than you do. I talk to a lot of people that know Nick Saban. Nick Saban has a fine spot in his heart. It's like anybody else. When you go to Alabama, that jilted lover syndrome comes out. He still has properties and everything. Oh, Miss Terry's got all kinds of properties here over there. But, look, he has mentioned it on certainly when he was in Alabama, he wanted to beat LSU. I mean, that's his job. There's been many interviews where he said the biggest mistake he ever made was leaving LSU. So, look, Dane, jilted lover syndrome has got to go bye-bye, okay? Yeah. The guy is the greatest modern-day football coach, and you're in a position to talk this way about this job because of Nick Saban. And they are going to get input from Nick Saban. That's all we're saying. Yep. They're going to talk to him about this. By the way, as a guy who's been running a website all these years, I'm just as butthurt as any fan about what how Alabama ruined many really good seasons for LSU. 2012 and 2011, certainly in others. All right, Dane, thank you for that. All right, I got to pay some bills real quick, and real excited to talk about our newest sponsor, and that's Matt Bowers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. When you're looking for your next vehicle, make sure you support a local dealership that supports the Tigers. Matt Bowers, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram on Airline Highway near Behringer Foreman in Baton Rouge. He has an awesome NI deal with the LSU tight end Trey Des Green, and you simply cannot beat their quality service. They include when they include their lifetime powertrain warranty on all new vehicles. Shop them online today at mattbowerscdjr.com. And here we go.
What's up, Tiger Nation? It's Trey Des Green. Go see my friend Matt Bowers when you need your next ride.
Get Matt's lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new vehicle purchase.
Shop smart. Buy local. Matt Bowers, CDJR, Baton Rouge.
Great folks over at Matt Bowers. And if you're looking for a great Ram truck, they've got an incredible selection over there on Airline Highway. Go for a test drive. Need to talk about Bay's Oyster Bar. You see it on the screen, and that's your new oyster spot, serving up the freshest farm-raised oysters from Grand Isle, 315 North Boulevard. No mud, no grit, just clean, delicious flavor. You're not an oyster, swap in the boiled shrimp. They got the turkey brie and bacon sandwich, or even a classic roast beef po' boy. They also have a fully stocked bar complete with top-notch bourbon, whiskey, and a craft beer selection. And, man, I've got their menu right here in front of me. Barbecue NOLA-style oysters, brie and bacon grilled oysters. They got the classic char grilled. They got the corn mock shoe oysters, oysters Bienville, and oysters Rockefeller. That's all the different ways that you can get oysters over at Bay's Oyster Bar. All right. Let's get to some more comments. Music, Kiffin is a culture fit, and I don't think you have to wait.
Wait. What do you say?
Music says that Kiffin is a culture fit, and she doesn't think you have to wait.
Really? So when's he going to leave Ole Miss?
He's not leaving Ole Miss until their season's over, and they're going to playoff team.
Yeah. Well, the ladies do like Lane Kiffin now, and he's known to like the ladies as well.
Yep.
So,
American Patriot says LSU fans are running around like their pants are on fire. Chill out. American Patriot, they've been given every reason to run around like that. I'm sorry.
I'm laughing because BK on his last radio show that he did sat there and said that they had practiced 2 hours and gone full pads and that the players were going to play like their hair was on fire. And they did for the first half, but they had no juice in the second half.
Fred Wright, who's still pining for the years of Les Miles, says that it's all about the likes and clicks on this show tonight. Fred used to always get upset when people, even in 2015 and 16, thought that Les Miles needed to go. Well,
that's a perfect example, though, Mike. I was talking to Richard Gill, of course, who was a big part of the LSU situation. And I asked him one day, is Les Miles a potential? And he said, yeah, he's a potential fit. But look, everybody wants to know about the fit. But Les Miles got his butt kicked the last time he was at Okie State. You just never know what's going to happen. But Donardo getting hard after losing to Tennessee 65-0. That was a good ball network. I mean, him and Kusamana were like this.
Well, that was because those guys didn't think the TAF would be something that anybody would be a part of and fun. And LSU fans are cheap and they won't pay to win. And
the money was minuscule in those days.
Yeah.
We're talking about so much more money now. It's not funny.
Music says LSU dominates Saturday. How do you like that?
I think they're going to be in the ball game in the fourth quarter, Music, and Mike didn't like me saying that, but I'm going to say it again. LSU plays with their fire on, with their head on fire and their hair on fire. Don't know if they can finish the job, but they're going to be competitive. Yep. They're not going to lay down Saturday night, folks.
Ron Schaefer, we are going to go after the cheapest coach out there. Days of the big money coaches are over for the time being. Governor Landry is all about balancing the budget and controlling the football team in LSU.
Well, you know why he's saying that? Because Landry said last week, no more buyouts and all this other stuff. He says he's not hiring a coach, but he's talking about all these parameters at LSU. And it is problematic. And I talked to a lot of people. Mike, this is the market value. Jimmy Sexton and Trace Armstrong and all these guys are not going to come in here and say, yeah, my guy's going to take $10 million and only need 4 or 5 years. It's going to be $15 million and minimum.
You know what would be refreshing? If either was a board of supervisor or somebody with the university would come out publicly and tell the governor to pound sand.
Well, I think he's very vindictive from what I hear.
Yeah.
So I did go to the Halloween party at the governor's mansion on Friday, and it was a lot of fun.
Yep. Chance Babin, Verge has a relationship with Marcus Freeman. Not my choice, but he will take the call. Oh, without a doubt. If you ask me who was Verge's number one guy, I would say Marcus Freeman. And I imagine they've probably already talked by now. I don't see that happening.
I don't know if you saw it, but Marcus Freeman was in Baton Rouge interviewing for the D.C. job a few years ago, and that wife was walking off the tarmac like, get me the hell out of here. I don't see Marcus Freeman leaving Notre Dame for LSU. Sorry.
David Bryan Farque, F-A-R-Q-U-E, Fark. It was an impressive coup, but the new president already put his foot in his mouth. All of this is a clown show and will be detrimental to finding a top-notch coach. Thanks, Landry.
Can't disagree. It's a clown show.
Steelers LSU 25. What, with a number like that and Steelers and LSU, is that Justin Vincent? If Verge doesn't get the job, could you see Mulkey or Johnson leaving?
Absolutely. They've got relationships with that Verge. Look, there's no perfect hire for AD or coach right now, and I think LSU's fans have got to realize that this thing is going to be complicated. It's not going to be simple, and we're not going to know if it's the right hire until years after.
But I disagree with this. Mulkey is upset because Woodward isn't there anymore, and Johnson might be okay with it. If what was agreed to with Woodward, and maybe getting things right with where they should be, if there's a better chance with it with Verge. But yeah, but they better get things right with Jay Johnson. I'm just telling you. Dane Bergeron, football is king. All other sports are window dressing. Football pays for everything. Yes, it does. And that's where the rub comes in because, and you've probably heard, in fact, I think I've said it a few times already, but it's out there. I mean, it's the truth. LSU has national championship contending teams in many sports. And so when Vanderbilt's able to give $3 million plus to Vanderbilt baseball and Mississippi State's doing 4 or 5 or whatever they're doing, it's because they know that that's the sport that they can win a national championship in over others. And so they're going to give them a bigger piece of that pie than other schools in the SEC. So
you're talking about revenue share. But Jay is going around that. That's how good Jay Johnson is. Even though he's on the bottom of the
problem is he has to raise all that money himself and he's exhausted.
But he's done it.
He don't want to do it.
Well, he's done it.
And they won't give him a general manager. And he looks around and he sees how many staff members are on basketball rosters. And so you see what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Are they going to give him a general manager? He doesn't have an Austin Thomas.
Yeah. I understand, but what I'm saying is it not deterred him from winning 2 out of the last 3 national.
But he's going to get burnt. He's going to get burned out. You got to take care of him.
Hell, I'm burned out.
Yep. Spencer Prajon, who's your ideal? I don't have one. I've been asked that question every day, and I kind of like everybody that's on the list for the most part. I'm not against any of them, to be honest with you. I'm not pro Lane Kiffin. I know if you ask me, I think probably 80% of the LSU fan base wants Lane Kiffin. If they get him, fine. I'm not against it. I mean, is there anybody you prefer or not, or you hope they don't?
I tell you what, I think it's a young man's game. And so Cignetti with Indiana, just 63 years old, just did a 9-year deal for almost $10 million a year. The standard is when BK got to $10 million, everybody went crazy. It's now 13, 14, 15 million. I like Jeff Brom at Louisville. Think he's done a great job. I like Dillingham at Arizona State. I think Summerall, being a young coach, is going to get a look-see, but he has laid an egg against Ole Miss and this last time that we saw him on Thursday night. But to me, I think that what our earlier tweet that we read, I don't think LSU wants to go and get caught up with $100 million buyout again. And so you're juggling how you attract the best coaches, but not sell your soul to this ridiculous buyout. But the agents and the coaches have that leverage right now.
The problem you have, buddy, right now is the cheapest coach that you can probably get in the tier of category that LSU faithful thinks that LSU should be in, that rarefied air, is probably the cheapest one is $9.5 million, the same money.
I was going to say $10 million. Yeah.
I mean, so it's
yeah. I don't think they're going to go cheap.
If you want to go get a coach for $6 or $7 million, then you need to start looking at Summerall, right?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see because you look, all these other schools that have openings, they're doing the same thing right now. I don't know if they've got the politics involved, but look, this is not an easy fix at where it is right now.
Dr. John Sibley Butler, the AD, serves at the pleasure of the university's president, as does all deans and vice presidents at all universities. Yeah.
Appreciate you, Dr. Butler.
That's true. But how many of them can, with confidence and feel like they're safe, tell the governor to pound sand? That's the question. We'll see if Jeff Landry stays quiet. He's been quiet for a good number of days now, right? Apathy. I want all these people involved in the coaching search to shut it up and only speak again when they got the coach hired and are at the intro presser.
That sounds like a grumpy buddy.
No, but I agree with apathy. That you can say what you want about Scott Woodward. He was great at that. I mean, think about some of the coaching searches he was involved in. I mean, you didn't know anything till the very end.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I said that on numerous occasions, Mike. Nobody had Brian Kelly. Nobody had Jay Johnson. Nobody had Matt McMahon. Nobody wanted to have Matt McMahon. By the way, they're playing tonight at 7 o'clock and opening up their season. Lady Tigers played last night. They'll play again tomorrow night. Men play next Monday. So we're juggling all this stuff and CFP ratings. You watch the show, Mike. 6 of the top 12 SEC teams in the first CFP poll and ranking, and LSU is not even close. If we'd have said a month ago they'd be 5-3 and nobody cares, you probably would have said, yeah. I would have said, what the F happened?
Yeah.
Because it's been one that's been a nightmare. It's been a horrible season for everybody. Hell, even the LSU quarterbacks on the pro level are getting banged up. Poor Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow. I mean, it's been a nightmare for the Tiger fan base watching football this year.
All right. Dykes Electrical, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small your electrical needs might be, Dykes is wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, they can wire that. A 200,000 square foot warehouse that you need built, they can wire it. Expand your existing commercial building. You're changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, or just a receptacle, or upgrading the old lighting in your home or office, they can wire all of that. Give them a call at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. And please do me a favor. Let them know TigerBait sent you in. They're really tracking who their referrals are coming from. And we want them to know that our viewers are patronizing their business. And they're just one of our great sponsors over at Dykes Electrical. And Capital City Grill, you see it there on your screen. And the Eggs Benedict, the waffles, chicken and waffles, just fantastic food. You've probably been there for their great lunches throughout the week. And but their brunch is really fantastic from 11 to 2 on Sundays. And give them a shot over at Capital City Grill, 100 Lafayette Street. And, of course, they've got sandwiches, burgers, seafood pasta, steaks, almost everything priced at $30 or below for an affordable experience. But the brunch is from 11 to 2. And like I always tell y'all, get that carrot cake to go if you're full. Trust me, it's the best in town. And Genesis of Lafayette, look at those deals right there on your screen. It's your choice, the 2026 G70 or the 2026 Genesis GV70. 0.99% APR for 36 months, 1.99 for 60 months, 2.99 for 72. I mean, that's basically free money. That's why you got to get over to Genesis of Lafayette, the premier luxury dealership. They offer the finest cars and SUVs in the region, coupled with the best service anywhere. 6600 Johnson Street. And again, huge LSU fans over there. If you're in the market for a Genesis, you need to give them a shot. It's worth the drive. It's worth the phone call. There's a reason why they absolutely sell more Genesis vehicles than any Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana. All right, let's get to some more of your comments. Dane Bergeron with another super chat. The people who will pay for the new coach are some of the same people that the governor will need to get elected to whatever office he chooses. The governor could not get elected dog catcher now. Dane, I have a feeling I know your affiliation, and I know a lot of people of similar political affiliation, and they're all upset. And so I don't know. You don't ever see much public polling in the state of Louisiana, but I would love to know what Jeff Landry's approval rating is right now.
Well, I got a better one. I got a buddy of mine that used to be in the business. He's getting up there in age, Bernie Pincinot. And I need to call Bernie. My poll would be, who's more popular, Jeff Landry or Brian Kelly? I know BK's gone now, but I mean, it would be close. It would be close.
Yeah.
I would imagine right now, 25, 30% approval for Jeff Landry?
I think that's high.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm being nice tonight.
I think there's I don't know what legislatively he can do in the next couple of years but imagine there's a lot of people that are after their name that feel like the water's warm and they're going to test it. Terrell Guidry, should we rethink the SEC coaching job? I think the Big Ten schools are pouring more money into football than the SEC schools are via NIL. I'm not sure what
I mean, if he's talking about leaving the SEC, that's not even up for discussion. No. I'm not sure where he's going there.
Yep, Stephen Miller's coming in with a lot of football-related questions. I think doesn't care about the coaching search, or he's exhausted by it. Don't expect to see Witt play Saturday. Doubtful he plays again until later the year, if ever this year. Yeah, it's not looking good. Did we get an updated injury report today? This afternoon?
Yeah. Whit Weeks is doubtful. Curious Kern is getting better, and I think that's probably going to be a game time decision.
Yeah.
But Whit looks like he's not going to be able to go.
James Sells. Personally, I think Whit Weeks gets a red shirt, then gets to play with his younger brother next year.
Well, he don't need a red shirt. He's a true junior. So I agree. I think he comes back and plays his senior year. With his brother.
Dwayne D. Frank Wilson said Weeks can run straight ahead, but it can't shift.
Right.
I tell you what I want to see. Have you seen some of the breakdowns of Harold Perkins against A&M? If he's going to play like that against Alabama, then he needs to sit the bench.
Boy, I tell you what, our good buddy.
What a disappointment.
PFM, he has been telling me this for years, and of course everybody knows I'm very hard-headed. He doesn't like the 7 and 18 tradition. I think most coaches leave it up to the players. They like it. But man, 7 and 18 have been snake bit. And
don't give them out every year.
I know, but 7 and 18 have let them down. I'm sorry, Nuss. You're a leader. I mean, you got to be better. This hissy fit when you get taken out is not what you're supposed to do as a leader. Sorry, Perk. Yep. You're dodging people. You're loafing your ass off. You're trying to stay away from contact. If you're going to get 7 and 18, you got to represent those numbers better. And so if neither one of them have gotten an ass chewing from their teammates or their parents or whatever, they need it because neither one of them acted like they should. And I agree with the Perk comment. He has been a shell of himself. Now, what's he going to do? We'll see. Is he going to show up? But he doesn't have Whit Weeks to tell him where to line up.
Look, you've got other linebackers that I've seen that are ready to go.
But look, I'm in agreement with you. If he's loafing and doesn't want to hit anybody, sit him down.
Yep. Jake Giller with a super chat. Thank you so much. Any truth to Blake Baker asking for better looks in practice? Also, muzzle Governor USL. Yeah.
I think both those things are true.
Mm-hmm.
I think the players that did player interviews said the pads were potting. You can pop pads on Tuesday. You can be okay if you hit on Tuesday. That's usually the hardest day of practice when they go full pads and they start putting in the game plan. But you can't do it on Thursday or Friday, Mike. And we'll see. I think they're going to have their legs. I think they're going to have their speed. Frank made a concerted effort to say they spent a lot of time on special teams. I know you hate talking about the game because you don't want to hear about it, but
no, I'm fine with it.
Well, but it's still something. This is LSU, Alabama. You know, Alan Risher was on, and guess what happened in 1993? You remember? Pigs effing flew. 27-game win streak for Alabama. LSU went in there and beat them 17-13. Pigs could fly Saturday night. And if they are, I'm going to send a pig over here for Mike and Preston to do the post-game show.
Yep. Animator 73, Mike, I truly believe the next head coach will not be the guy everyone wants. It will be someone no one is talking about. Doesn't it always end up like that?
Possibly.
No one was talking about Nick Saban. No one was talking about Jerry DiNardo.
Except his buddy Charlie Cusimano.
We were talking about Les Miles.
I think it's probably a good point. And that's the way it should be.
No one was talking. No, well, people were talking about Ed Orgeron.
Yeah.
Which I was absolutely furious. I thought that was the dumbest hire ever. But he ended up giving the most magical team in the history of college football.
But remember, Mike, Joe Lever was going to a press conference and tell everybody that Les was fired. And remember, they got saved. It had a big conference up in the press box. We're not firing that guy. And they put him on his shoulders and toted him off the field. Got another year. Got fired the next year, 4 games in. But look, it's never been simple. It's never been clean. It's never been predictable. So don't freak out. This has happened many a times. But there is a fear because LSU fans have been damn lucky. And look, BK finally said something right. They're spoiled. Everybody's spoiled. You win 3 natties in 20-something years, you're spoiled. And you know what? Not to be able to make the playoffs in 4 years, Mike, I think you and I agree. BK wanted out. His agent was shopping him for TV deals all in the last year, and that's legit.
Dane Bergeron with a super chat, buddy. Who was the last Louisiana governor who was an LSU guy? I hope Verge gets the permanent AD position. LSU should have a football man as AD.
Well, you know who they're comparing Jeff Landry to? Huey Long.
Yeah.
If you go back. Look, all of these governors become LSU folks, but I have to go back. Not that I'm trying to kick anybody in the nutsack, but somebody sent me something the other day. Folks, if you want to go back to LSU politics, go back to that summer when John Bell Edwards and F.K. Alexander told everybody, we might not have a football team this year. We might be broke. You remember that? So look, McKithen was involved. EWE was involved. They're all involved because they know how important it is, and it's flagship state university.
That's why you would think they would be more guarded and tactful in what they say.
I don't think this guy really cares. I don't think Jeff Landry gives a flying rat's A about what anybody says or thinks. He is plowing, and I just hope the plowing stops because it's getting worse every day.
Dane Bergeron with a super chat again, buddy. I already read that one. It was this one.
Who would you think the governor that I mean, look, John Bell Edwards, that was ridiculous. Him and F. King Alexander, absolutely ridiculous. But they're always going to be involved. But this is a little quick.
S. Young, thoughts on Kelvin Shepherd? Doubt we get a hot commodity coach with this count.
I love Kelvin Shepherd.
I love Kelvin Shepherd, but I'm dubious on NFL coaches because when you can get them, and first preference is someone with head coaching experience. But when you look at a list of some of the coaches who are really nailing it right now that had no head coaching experience, Ryan Day being one of them, that's a pretty strong way to go. Does anybody look at Hartline at Ohio State? If you say if you're going to start looking at coordinators, who would you go get?
Well, Shepard is the DC with the Detroit Lions and done a fantastic job. But Mike, I don't think he's ready to inherit You realize, folks, what you're jumping into in the SEC now? It's never been stronger than it is right now. I just said it's 6 in the top 12.
And by the way, you have to get this right.
Yeah, you got to get it right. And
you
so
got to get this right. I mean, there's no guarantees, but you don't just take a flyer on somebody when you're going to be paying for the previous coach for a good while. And you're going to have to give the next guy a ton of money. You got to give the outgoing AD a ton of money. You got multiple coaches that are going to be having seasons that decide whether they get the axe in the spring. You got to get this football hire absolutely right.
Love what Chip's doing, but I think right now he's probably in his best situation. You don't know what kind of recruiter. You don't know if he can hire staff. I think that's just somebody that throw it out there.
Apathy says, what happens if Dan Lanning gets blown out by 30 in the playoff? Have you seen Oregon's schedule? It's more of a joke than Jeff Landry. If you said who was my number one guy, like if I could have anybody, I wanted to be Dan Lanning. But, you know,
you got a better chance of seeing God than you
do you
seeing
believe,
Dan Lanning at LSU.
Do you believe that his denial last week is true, or does he?
He doesn't want any part of LSU. Come on, folks.
Brandon Reese, we can't afford to just settle for just any coach. I agree. Hal says Mike Johnson is an LSU guy. Can't imagine what he's thinking about all this. I don't know how big he is in athletics. I've never. Of course, he was front and center when the baseball team was at the White House, but I've never seen him in the parking lot or LSU games in all the years. One time says Tulane's coach is the next man up. I don't believe that. Brandon Huff, LSU men's basketball is about to tip off. You may make a record prediction for the men's basketball team. How many SEC wins?
Want to see him play a little bit before I throw out.
I watched a little bit of the UCF game. They didn't look bad.
No. I think they've got some potential. I think that you know, and obviously that we're juggling because you know Mike has to cover all those women's games. And how many showed up last night, and how many will show up tonight? How many showed up tonight? I mean, last night.
It was a decent crowd.
8,000? 7,000, 8,000?
I don't think so.
No?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Okay. Because Lynn said it was filling up. But anyway, look, got a point guard from Vegas, got a couple of big guys. You know, Robert Miller and other guys are going to be able to play, but I want to see them play at least a couple of games before. But you know the deal. They've got to make the NCAA tournament or the AD is going to fire them. Oh, wait. They don't have an AD right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Brad, I found it. Sorry about that. I missed yours. I went and fished it out with a super chat. Thank you. Says Mike in 05 was less a hot name. His record at Oklahoma State was not great. No, he was a guy that had some exciting game wins at Oklahoma State, beat Oklahoma several times. He had, of course, a game against Texas where he had, a 30-point lead and lost it.
Oh, I looked that up today. I was looking. His record, I think, was 7-5 at the last year, but they were up on Texas like 35-7 or something like that. Texas scored like 42 straight points to beat him. But he did beat Oklahoma, and that's what put him on the map at Oklahoma State. That got him the interview, and of course, we all know that. Look, I wish we could go back in time and pull up everybody's attitude, comments. Didn't have tweets and all the other social media at that time. But do you remember what people were saying about Les Miles? I tell you what I remember. He got his ass kicked by Ohio State at the end of the year, and everybody's going like, "What are we doing hiring this guy?" And so you just never know. Of course, he was good until he got cray-cray.
Yep.
So.
All right, you see it on the screen. Look at that stuff over at Struby's. Fantastic steaks and seafood. Again, it's one of your premier restaurants in Louisiana. Struby's Seafood and Steaks, 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. Again, locally owned and operated, USDA Prime Black Angus, the 100% certified Wagyu New York strip. And look, they've got obviously a great red meat menu, but they've got other things. They got the dry aged pork chop, the black truffle lobster pasta, redfish duck, Louisiana steak Diane, and more. Book your reservation online tonight at strubys.com. And please let them know that TigerBait sent you in, and you see it on your screen right there, Alumni Hall. Again, one of our sponsors for many years. Use the code TigerBait, all one word, and you're going to get 10% off your order at the register, or if you shop online at alumnihall.com/LSU. And again, best selection of LSU gear anywhere, a jam-packed, beautiful store in Perkins Row. Free shipping on all orders over $99. They got the mix and match 2 for $38 LSU champion brand T-shirts. They've got a brand new redesigned website. Go check it out, alumnihall.com/LSU. And all your quarter zips, your all the sweatshirts, hoodies. They've got all jackets. They've got everything you need for the cooler temps that are here, and hopefully will stay for a good while. All right, buddy, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Just remember, man, to find meats where the reason I'm here, the official smoked sausage of LSU Athletics. Look, when it gets spicy, and it's been spicy, grill up that spicy hot sausage. And Demco, Dykes Electric member co-op. Really nice. We hadn't gone to the Demco Storm Watch, almost the end of hurricanes, so thank the good Lord for that. Also, a shout-out to the Fabry family. We lost David Fabry about a week or so ago, had the funeral. Car dealer, him and John have been fantastic at Akron Infinity of Baton Rouge, so we hope that all of you will put the Fabry family in your prayers. A big loss with David as we lost him. And look, folks, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. Don't let this stuff get crazy. Take care of your family, your kids, your animals. And LSU is going to be in the football game in the fourth quarter. Aaron Anderson's going to score his first touchdown of the year.
You've been saying Aaron Anderson's going to score his first touchdown every week.
Well, he's been hurt.
I want to keep going.
Let's keep going. If you don't get in the end zone with Aaron Anderson, and here's my final little tidbit, they're going to pull a trick play. I don't know if they're going to pull
know there's going to be a trick play.
There's got to be a trick play or two.
Onside kick.
And I think you're going to be proud and have pride of the effort.
If there's no trick play, I'm going to be disappointed.
You know, the effort you see. I think they're going to cover the spread, and they're going to be in the game in the fourth quarter. Not predicting the outright victory, but I think these wounded Tigers are going to bring it, probably wear down, but enjoy it. And Mike and Preston will be on the air sometime.
Over under on Michael Van Buren, how many plays?
Oh, I don't know. I'd love to see him get 10 to 15 snaps.
All right.
And if you have a drive, he could get more. I mean, he looked good in that A&M.
I'd like to see Harlan Berry have a nice game.
Oh, my goodness. I'd like to see Harlan Berry stay in the game when he's running well.
Come on, Frank.
Hey, Caden Durham, let's see both of you guys and enjoy it, folks. I know this stuff has got everybody up in arms, but we still are a great fan base. And you know one thing about the Tiger fan base, they are the most passionate son of a guns. And you know what? This is not going to kill LSU. This is going to knock down LSU momentarily, but the wounded Tigers will come back, and you will live to see another day. I hope to live to see another day where LSU at least gets in the playoffs before I retire or pass away.
Stephen Miller, have a great night, and we'll catch you at postgame. Mike, yeah, we will go live, Preston and I, immediately at the end of the LSU-Alabama game. When they're on the road, we're able to go live as soon as the last play of the game, and we'll be talking about it. And hopefully between now and then, there's no more hiccups with elected officials, athletic department officials. Everybody just goes radio silent, and they get to work on finding the future LSU football coach. How about that? Is that a good?
That's your cup of tea.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe our YouTube channel. By the way, we've been loading our Tiger Den premium message board on TigerBait with a lot of tidbits and so forth. Our message board traffic has really increased in the last few weeks. Putting a lot of stuff there that doesn't necessarily show up on the front page of TigerBait. That's why you need to go to our Tiger Den premium message board. Subscribe for $1. I think you'll enjoy the website if you're an LSU fan. You're going to get text alerts for breaking news when stuff happens, and there's going to be a lot breaking here in the next 60 days, without a doubt. All right, everybody. Good night.